X-Men Days of Future Past easily won the box office battle this weekend, taking in $91 million on its opening weekend, $111 million for the extended weekend, and over $300 million worldwide. This marks the 5th biggest Memorial Day weekend opening in history and the 2nd biggest opening of an X-Men film, just slightly behind X-Men 3. John, buy or sell these results for X-Men Days of Future Past?
I'm actually going to sell it. These are good numbers. These are great numbers, but this goes to show you if you have poor films or poorer than you want them to have films in your franchise, it will affect the future ones. The reason the biggest opening weekend ever for an X-Men film, and it's X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men 3, which is universally accepted as probably the poorest of the X-Men films, but it's the biggest opening weekend. Why? Because it's coming off an amazing X-Men film in X-Men 2. With this one you had, you know, that's why Days of Future Past, or not Days of Future Past, I'm sorry, X-Men First Class didn't have a huge opening weekend because it was coming off of weak stuff. We had mediocre responses to The Last Wolverine, which was the most recent X-Men film. So coming into this, it will do great though. One more thing I want to mention about X-Men Days of Future Past though. You know, X-Men Days of Future Past has 4 villains in it. You're talking about Trask, you're talking about Magneto, you're talking about the Sentinels themselves, and you're talking Mystique as well. First, she was an off and on, whatever, hero or villain, depending on how you want to look at it. You had William Stryker, you had, you know, all the, the problem is not having too many villains, the issue is how do you use them. This is a near perfect comic book film. Near perfect. And it had all those villains, but you used them right, and so number of villains doesn't really matter. I'm off topic. Miri.
I'm gonna buy this just because I'm so thrilled for the success of this film, because I feel like this is one of those movies that, yes, this is a movie that's heavily steeped in comic book lore and the fans, it's giving them fan service, but it's also a movie that people can go see that have no knowledge of X-Men and really enjoy it. And it has that crossover appeal, and I think the numbers show it. I think it had a huge monster weekend because it transcended any boundaries that comic book movies might have. And it just was a great crowd pleaser. It was a fun movie. I loved it, so I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I'll buy it as well. I think it's a reboot without being a reboot. I mean, it literally kind of reforms the X-Men and takes all the cool things that we liked about them and adds to that and takes all the negative stuff and trashes it via time travel. We're like, hey, dumpage, you know? So, I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, rush out to go see it. And I think it won't have that 50% drop off. I think it'll like maintain. It might have a 30% drop off in the second weekend. You know,
I know we got 2 big films opening this weekend. We got A Million Ways to Die in the West, and we got Maleficent. So I think we're going to see a 50% drop.
Really, I think
too much competition.
Word of mouth. Let's bet. We're on the side. We're going to make a bet.
Well, set the over under at 48%. And you'll take the under 48%, I'm going to take the over on 48%.
But what about also the fact that, like, you went to see it, you're like 7 times you're going to go see it in the theater. People are going to go see this again, so it's going to have that repeat viewer.
But not everybody's as stupid as me.
Or as diehard fan.
It's worth seeing at least 3 times in theater.
At least. All right.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.